Welcome to the Box Score Sports Podcast.
Let's move on to our next team. This is going to be the NBA exit interview for the New Orleans Pelicans. So the New Orleans Pelicans, this is going to be a fun team to talk about, I'm sure. 21 and 61, 14th in the West, and they got the seventh pick this year. They were going to pick originally as high as four, and they dropped in the draft, being, like the three big market teams jumped every other team. So let's see here. What's your grade for the Pelicans?
D minus.
Yeah, I
It
put
just
F. Yeah, I did F.
yeah
I was harsh on
injuries.
them.
Yeah, I mean he made the Murray trade, which didn't look awesome anyhow, and then he blew his Achilles. Not great luck. But then again, Zion, not much there. You didn't watch a Pelicans game, be like, wow, this is inspiring basketball, and they've just fallen into that. Herb Jones missed time too, shoulder injury. It was just a sunk season early on, and they don't really have a direction. It's kind of like chaos all over between ownership and what do you want to do, all of that stuff. It was just a disastrous season for them, and it's hard to look at it and be optimistic going forward. Especially again in the Western Conference, it's another team stuck in the West where you're like, what is the way out anytime soon here?
Agree. I mean, I have an F, but everything you said is on point. Injuries derailed it, but it's just like, man, you look at their roster and you feel like, man, if healthy, this should be something, right? Herb Jones, Trey Murphy, Zion Williamson, McCollum, Murray. It's just a disappointment year after year, and it starts with Zion Williamson, who only played 30 games again this year. It's like he just doesn't want to stay healthy or do what he needs to do to help himself stay healthy. Maybe he just can't. That's different. Like, what's his name? Durant, Odin, Odin, Greg Oden. He couldn't stay healthy, right? Like he tried, he couldn't. Like Zion isn't really attempting to stay healthy. He's always out of shape. Jones only played 20 games, and even those 20 games, small sample size, but his shooting regressed horribly. So that's not good. I mean, Trey Murphy, that was sort of the biggest bright spot, the lining on the season, and Messi we had a good first year for being a rookie. So those were two positive, but overall, I just thought F grade because every year I look at this team, I'm like, man, why is this not a fringe play-in playoff team? And they're in the West, that's part of it, but it's just they just can't figure it out. They can't. I hear their practice facilities are messed up. I hear that their training staff is not great. So it's just like the organization just seems chaotic. But don't worry, they brought in Joe Dumars and he will fix it. Former Detroit Pistons, Joe Dumars.
Yeah, it's a mess to fix up. And again, you're right. You look at their players, and again, it's another team where you're like, it's intriguing. You like a lot of the names on there, but they haven't come close to putting it together. They've never really come up with a center
True.
to complement Zion. And as the time has gone on, again, Zion's been hurt. It feels like they're trying to mend bridges with him. They sent him to the lot. I mean, yeah, with Zion, they sent him to the lottery, so he was there. Like, I don't know if that was their statement, like we're not trading him. Which again, if you've listened for any amount of time, you know how often I thought they should have just moved on from
Yes.
him. So from that aspect, I guess it is what it is at this point. But it's constant disappointment. You really do feel bad if you're a Pelicans fan, just year after year seeing the same thing.
Yeah, no, agreed. Okay, ready to move on to the offseason?
Yes.
Okay, so their offseason, they got the seventh pick. Right now, the mock draft has Trey Johnson going to them. By the time you watch the video, you will already know who they've drafted and what they've done. They are below the first apron, about $8 million. As far as um, what's it called? Oh, you know what? They don't have McCollum anymore. What am I talking about? They traded him today. And Olenek. My God. I'm looking at Bobby Marks' old projection stuff. Okay, well, this is sort of out of date. I'll look up their new numbers, but the only free agent that's like worth mentioning is Bruce Brown. And as far as picks, they have the seventh pick. As far as tradable picks, they got six tradable picks in first round picks in the next 8 years. And they already traded their two expiring. So, what do you think their focus should be moving forward? What do you think they do?
Well, their focus should be like we just need to um, build around our young guys.
Agreed.
Jones. You're kind of stuck with Murray, I think, unless that door opens, like we talked about when we were in the Minnesota section. Um, and again, I think you really have to make a Zion decision. Like, are we going to keep hoping, or are we going to just move on from that and try to either just the contract's not terrible because again it's like unguaranteed money at this point based on the way they worded it. But again, in order to get off that, you have to cut the guy, and the likelihood of you cutting Zion Williamson, regardless of how bad it gets, is probably less like one of the least likely things ever because then you're going to feel even worse if he goes to a good team for free. So I think they just need to. You got Jones, you got Trey Murphy, you're going to have a pick here. Sadiq Bey, maybe he has some intrigue. They obviously seem to. Weaver really seems to like him. I would start cashing assets, see what you can do with Bruce Brown, see what you can do with Zion. Again, you brought in Jordan Poole. Cool. We got some excitement, some defense, and chucking going on here. But I think you need to, unfortunately, kind of hit a reset button here um, and go young.
Yeah, how about first let's get your organization to like put some investments into your franchise. Like if players like DeJounte Murray was complaining about the training staff, like it's like let's get these guys the opportunity to win. If that's true, I don't, whatever. Just to update so people they have the 7th, 23rd, and 40th pick in this year's draft. They have 179 million in cap that they're spending. So they're almost they're 14 million, 16 million below the first apron, which is good. Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. I honestly think they need to move on from Zion. That's my big focus that I would do and see what you can get for him and just see if you can get some assets or good young players or just even moving off him because he's not buying into what you're selling. He hasn't since you've drafted him. So get what you can for him. Let him go somewhere else. He might buy in, but there was no guarantee he would ever buy into your organization. And there's no evidence that he would have either. So I just if he becomes great somewhere else, fine. Just think that, like you just got to have the thought it would have never happened here. I would just move on from Zion. It's my big thing for them.
It should just play like I should move my hand across the screen like this, and every time it just say trade
Yeah,
Zion.
correct, correct.
So
Okay, you ready? You want to do our long shots?
yeah.
Okay, give me your long shot for the Pelicans.
So again, it's going to be trading Zion. I thought I think it's going to be East team, but you know, could you trade him to the Bulls for Kobe White and Bazelis? Would the Bulls be willing to move off of those two guys? You could do the Hornets for I just had it up. Anyhow, like Grant Williams and
Nurkic,
Bridges.
I had Nurkic and Bridges for the Hornets. Yeah, okay, go
Yeah,
ahead.
yeah, something along those lines. Those were the two teams where I thought might, in their desperation of Charlotte actually being good, or the Bulls continually trying to just be the A seed and get that home playoff, that home play in game, or teams that could give you at least something to be excited about for the Pelicans.
Yeah, no, agreed. That both those things could work. I also had the Blazers on here, Aiton for Zion. Um, you get a center, a true center. You could put him around Murphy, Jones, and Murray. And then Zion could play next to Klingon with Scoot Henderson and Shaden Sharp. Um, And then I just had this is like long shot of all long shots, like a 0.1% happening, but again, just having fun on the trade machine. So remember, I mentioned they had 6 first round picks that are tradable in the next 8 years. Send a bunch of them over to Cleveland for Allen and Garland and trade Zion and Herb Jones. That,
I'd like that for the Pelicans, but
yeah, I don't know if I'd like it for the Cavs. The only thing I'd like for the Cavs is I think if Zion like takes it seriously, him and Mobley I think would fit well together. And then Herb Jones defensively on the Cavs would be out. I just want to trade Herb Jones. We know this already. But and then
I
like
thought when
I'm saying like 4 first round picks go their way, so then they can like in the future they have 1st round picks as well. Go ahead. Sorry.
I thought when you paused and looked up at me, you were going to be like, the Bucks trade Giannis for Zion and all the picks, and I was going to be like, how dare you put that on me?
Well, to be fair, I think it would have to be Zion and like Herb Jones or Murphy. So maybe you would do it if you got Herb Jones too. Okay,
Come on here with a Zion Williamson Bucks jersey. Oh.
Okay, I will make a deal with you. If he ends up on the Bucks, I'm going to buy you the jersey.
That's perfectly fine. He'll love Colton.
Okay, beautiful. Okay, anything else on the Pelicans?
No.
Okay. 2 more teams, man. Thanks so much for watching this clip of the Box Score Sports podcast. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you haven't yet, please subscribe to our channel. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter or X. And we'll talk to you guys real soon. See ya.